I'm Mark Arnaudo, filming from Origins 2015, and I am here at the booth of Jolly Rogers with Jim, who has agreed to tell us a little bit about one of Jolly Rogers' new releases, which is Cthulhu's Vault, a creative storytelling game set in the world of H.P. Lovecraft. And I personally like Lovecraft, I like storytelling games, so I got curious about this game, and Jim has agreed to tell us a little bit about it. Thank you, Jim.
Oh, you're welcome. The basis of the game is telling a story. It's meant to be accessible to gamers and non-gamers. And just as important, while I like Cthulhu and my co-designer Richard Launius loves Cthulhu, you don't need to know anything about Cthulhu to play the game. It's really if you like horror stories and just telling the story. It plays in about 30 to 45 minutes. There's nothing in here rated R or anything, so you could have a 10 or 11-year-old play the game if you want, or basically up to 6 or 7 of your normal gaming buddies. The object of the game is to tell a good story. Eventually, the big bad guy, a great old one, will be revealed. One person takes over the great old one, and then everybody else plays an investigator trying to stop them.
All right.
So, the way the game winds up working is everybody is going to be dealt a big bad guy. I've kind of set this up with a couple sets of hands. Normally you get 7 cards, and you get 1 bad guy. So here, Marco has Cthulhu. It's his bad guy.
Cool. I get the best one.
And the other is Hastur. And depending on which one awakens, they have special powers. Cthulhu can wind up stomping multiple investigators at once. Hastur's is once he's been awakened, if anybody says his name, they lose a D6 hit point.
Oh, I love that.
You can't speak his name.
I love that.
So, those are secret, and then you have a hand of 7 cards normally, with various things in them and an icon. So it could be, this is a professor who's a person. Actually, it winds up, everybody here's a person. Over here, you have like the cultist icon, you have a direction or a place, person, or a location type setting. So, the way the game winds up working is, the bad guy, the great old one, will wake up when somebody accumulates enough cultist markers, and it depends on how many people are playing. So the game starts with a card being flipped over to start the story. In this case, it's escape. So since I own the story and Marco's holding the camera, I start and I sit there and say, there was a prison break out at the Arkham Penitentiary. Nobody knows how many people got away or what caused the break. So that's how we start the story. At that point, I can take a card from my hand as we now start to tell the story, and I play it. In this case, it's dusk. It's like, well, that escape took place at dusk. It wasn't the middle of the night like everybody thought.
Plot thickens.
Plot thickens. Now, on the card, you've got a little logo. It's the icon that matches potentially a card like this. In this case, it doesn't. We have a skull, and we've got the handprint. If I match that icon, I get this bonus. Two of the tokens that are upside down. So I could get cultist tokens, or it could wind up being an investigator token. Normally with the card, yeah, look how it's like, yeah. When you play Dusk, you get to do this ability. In that case, it's steal a token from one other player at random. So I could sit here and I take from Marco one of his tokens. Again, that affects who gets to awaken their great old one. After Dusk has been played, I only get to play 1 card. It's not a race to play all your cards, it's about making sure that the story is a good one.
I like that.
So, it winds up that Marco's card here, he's got Gangster. The person who escaped is this notorious gangster who was a bootlegger. He's in jail waiting on charges of racketeering. The FBI wants him, but apparently somebody else wants him and he feared for his life in prison. We then go through and we do all this. The great old one awakens when enough cultist tokens have been revealed, or if one of the players is out of cards to tell their story. At that point, all of these cards are discarded. And we use the battle cards.
Oh, battle.
They can do various things. In this case, we have a shotgun that does 1 wound. If you roll a 5 or 6 on a dice, it does 2 wounds instead. If If you want, if you have a spellcaster, you can heal. There are also the big bad guy cards. Here, you can do 1 wound to 1 investigator, or if you Cthulhu, you can spend one of the tokens you had picked up during the storytelling, and it allows you to do a giant stomp, so you do 2 damage to every investigator.
Oh, lovely.
Each of the cards has a power for a different one of the great old ones. So it's not overpowering. Cthulhu won't be on all of the cards. At the end of the game, either the great old one will have been defeated, or the investigators will be dead, and hopefully everybody will enjoy the story they told.
Which really seems to be the point here.
Absolutely.
As it should be in good storytelling games. Now, is the game out there? Is it available?
It is not out there. Well, it's out there. It is out there somewhere. My understanding is it's currently on a train somewhere between Long Beach, California and Chicago, Illinois.
That really is out there.
Yeah, it really is out there. It's probably in Montana someplace. I am told that I should expect delivery on June 19th or June 22nd, at which point Cthulhu Vault's Kickstarter backers, you guys will get your copies first. Those will go out immediately. Then it'll go out to distributors and stores, and I hope that it's in stores by about July 15th. Retails for $40, and that's partially because on here, you can hear it. It's actually in a metal tin so that it looks like a gray vault. I think it's going to do pretty well between everybody that's talked to me and the Kickstarter backers. I'm already working on a reprint of the game because I expect to be out of it by about July 16th.
Good. Thank you for taking the time to tell me and my viewers about Cthulhu's Vault by Jolly Rogers, out there for the time being and out available for purchase hopefully soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marco.
Bye.